one other one.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to talk a little bit about David Bailiff.
Right.
At Rice, who was there for a staggering 11 seasons.
Right.
Which is an eon.
It's a long time. Also, if you're wondering why we're not talking about UTEP, which is also open, we did this back when that job was open weeks ago.
Correct.
So if you want, look on our YouTube page or on our website. This conversation happened then.
Correct.
Yeah.
So David Bailiff is fired at Rice, and in a lot of respects, he was pretty much, he comes in, he wins 10 games in 2008, and then the tale of David Bailiff was a tale of peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
He wins 10 games in 2008, and then they have 3 really rough years, and you're thinking, oh, man, is David Bailiff going to be fired? Okay, improvement in 2012, 10 more wins in 2013.
Yep.
Okay, step back in 2014, and then it just all went downhill and
right.
crashed and burned this year, 1-11.
Before the last few years' decline, it's pretty much what you'd want out of a Rice coach, right? Yeah. With the academic standards, it's never going to be easy.
Correct.
You're never going to be playing on the same playing field as the other teams in the conference. But if you can get to 10 wins, 9 or 10 wins every 4 years, you're really doing something, right? You can live with a couple 6 and 6s, right?
And then the other, and I'll just speak from a personal perspective, is that we know David Bailiff.
Everyone loves David
He's
Bailiff.
a great guy.
Yeah.
He is a superb guy. He's a Texas just through and through.
Yeah.
And
he's got a budding coaching tree. I mean, people that have been assistants for him are doing great things. Tom Herman among them.
And they all love him.
Yep.
They all speak glowingly of him. And so I'm sad.
It's a bummer.
I'm personally sad to see him go and I really and truly hope that he lands on his feet somewhere because he's a great guy and he's worth that. He's worth looking at. And so
I'm actually seeing if he can replace you.
Tough but fair. So then you start saying, okay, well, who is Rice going to go get? And it's worth mentioning, and I feel like I have to be the bearer of bad news here, but it's worth mentioning that people are not going to be lining up to take this job.
Right.
That Rice is in a lot of respects, in the same way we were talking about the UTEP job and the unique hurdles that it faces, Rice faces very unique hurdles itself. It's the second most prominent college in its own city.
Right.
It's in Conference USA, which is Conference USA West, which is improving.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to deal with the academic standards that are going to be very difficult to get kids in. So you're never going to be able to get Rice. There is a God's honest promise. Rice will never have a top 10 recruiting class.
Right.
Not ever. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
You have to do more with less. And so you start looking around. And I think that you have essentially 3 different ways you can go. You can go with kind of the prominent coordinator route. The names that I've seen kicked around, the Stanford defensive coordinator Lance Anderson, the offensive coordinator Mike Bloomgren, or South Carolina offensive coordinator Kurt Roper, who is an OWL alum.
Right.
Those would be guys, if you want to go with the hot coordinator, you could go with something like that. Think about what North Texas did, go plucking Seth Luttrell from North Carolina. It's going to be something like that, okay? That's one route. The other route is you go to the scrap heap.
Right.
And you go to guys who were just fired. It won't happen, but you make a call to Kevin Sumlin, right?
Right.
It's like something like that. Now, Kevin Sumlin's probably not coming to Rice. I don't want to get your hopes up. But you go there. You make a call to
Todd Graham.
No, absolutely not. I don't let him back in the state. No. Todd Graham, of course, former Rice coach who screwed over his kids. Yeah. But I go and I look at guys who are maybe off the scrap heap, guys who were just fired.
Yeah.
I don't hire Greg Schiano, but you go and you hire guys. I'll be entirely honest. I make a call to Butch Jones.
Right.
Like guys like that.
Yeah.
Guys who have been FBS coaches and say, do they want to make a move up?
Yeah.
The other option, in my mind, is you go to the FCS level,
right,
or the sub-FBS level. You go call Casey Keeler at Sam Houston State and say, is this the move you want to make?
Someone needs to call Keeler. Someone.
Casey Keeler.
We're waiting for this.
Do you call our friend at A&M Commerce?
Yes, Coach Carthel.
Do you call Colby Carthel?
Please.
Right? Do you make these calls?
Yeah.
Because to me, the guy, look, Mike Gundy's not coming to Rice.
No.
Okay? He's not. But I do think one thing you can do is you can get the next big thing. That's what North Texas did. That's what UTSA did when they hired Frank Wilson. I still believe in a lot of respects that's what Texas State did when they hired Everett Withers. They went kind of the FCS route. I think there's a path there. It just depends on what they want to do. Personally, again, I'd love to see them make a call to Casey Keeler or somebody like that. I really think that would work out for them. But I also recognize that it's not my money.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that you've got to remember is that, as I mentioned off the top, it's not going to be a situation where people are just lining up to because it is a difficult job. It's a tough job. What David Bailiff did there, winning 10 games twice, is a minor miracle at Rice.
Yeah.
So in my view, that's what you got to do. The other option you do, if you want to go a little bit crazy, you go to the high school ranks, and you hire a prominent Houston area coach. Do you go and call Kirk Martin and Manville? Right now, that would be a long shot, right?
Yeah.
That is to go from a guy who's just a high school coach to putting him in an FBS job would be a long shot. But if you want to go the route of wrapping yourself in Houston and saying we are just going to, in the same way that Chad Morris did at SMU, where he said we're just going to recruit Dallas kids, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to do that with Houston, which is not the worst idea in the world, then maybe that's the route you go.
Right.
In any case, I think there's Rice is, in a lot of respects, the Rice coaching hire will be a lot more interesting to me than the A&M coaching hire.
Right.
Because the A&M coaching hire, we know they're going to get a great coach. We know they're going to get a guy who has a proven track record. They're not going to go. Unfortunately, they're not going to go hire a guy like Casey Keeler. Right. They're not going to go. They're not going to take a risk.
Right. They don't have to.
They don't have to. Rice has to take a risk, and in a lot of respects, that's a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah.
So.